to Conversation 3. We're on Unit 1 of Fast Track 3, and we are on page 6. I'm sorry, actually we're on page 7. We're on page 7. So practice 1 times. Fill in the blanks with at, in, or on. At, in, or on. Now hit pause and fill them in using page 5. Fill these in using page 5. When you fill them in, go ahead and start this recording up again, and I will go over the answers. On Tuesday. On January 17th. In March. At 7:45. On the weekend. At night. On Saturday night. In the afternoon. At the start of the day. At 3:30. In the 19th century. In 2 weeks. At noon. In the summer. In 2016. Once again, on Tuesday, on January 17th, in March, at 7:45, on the weekend, at night, on Saturday night, in the afternoon, at the start of the day, at 3:30, in the 19th century, in 2 weeks, at noon, in the summer, in 2016. Okay, in the 19th century means that entire 100 years. The century means 100. Vocabulary, page 7. Placemats. These are things you put under your plates to protect your table. Garbage is trash. So practice 2. Pause the recording and fill in the blanks with at, in, or on. Okay, once you're done, start the recording again, and we'll go over the answers. Do you have any tissues in your bag? The pharmacy is at the bottom of the hill. Guangzhou is a city in southern China. He hung the picture on the wall in his bedroom. On the wall in his bedroom. There is a lot of plastic garbage in the ocean. You shouldn't walk on the grass. She lives in Vancouver, Canada. Put the placemats on the table. Here are your answers. Be sure they are correct. Classroom Activity 1, Expectations. Use at, on, and in twice each to match the times in the first column. Then write activities you expect to do with those times in the second column. Finally, take turns asking your partner about his or her expectations and write them in the third column. In the afternoon, in the evening, at lunchtime tomorrow, on the weekend, in 1 month, on your birthday, at Christmas. Let's go over the dialogue. First listen and then repeat. What will you do in the afternoon? I'll meet my friends for lunch. What will you do? I'll go to the library. What will you do in the afternoon? I'll meet my friends for lunch. What will you do? I'll go to the library. Okay, write down the things you're going to do in the evening, at lunchtime tomorrow, and so on in the me column. As for partner, go ahead and write down something you believe someone else would do. Maybe your friend or maybe even a celebrity. A celebrity is a famous person. Write down what you think the person would be doing at those times. Okay, these are activities. This activity is on page 8. The other page of this activity is on page 100. What you'll do is you fill out both pages. It's the same dialogue at the top. Let's listen to the dialogue, and then we're going to do it again and repeat it. When did you have a picnic? I had a picnic on Sunday. When did you have a picnic? I had a picnic on Sunday. When are you going to wash the car? I'm going to wash the car on Saturday. When are you going to wash the car? I'm going to wash the car on Saturday. Okay. At the bottom where it says Classmate B activities, you have to fill in the correct blank. You're going to move on the second day of the month. You'll finish packing at the start of the month. You'll stay in Washington from April 28th to 29th. You'll have an interview at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Going to go shopping for 3 days. You're going to take a training course on the first week of the month. Okay, for the next one, you're going to have an exam at 1 week from today. You can do exam on 1 week. Exam on 1 week from today. You're going to meet Jill. You met Jill at noon yesterday. Okay, and you play squash from 3 at 3 and 5 p.m. on April 13th. You pay rent on the first day of the month. You work on the report from next Wednesday to Friday. From is something to. From next Wednesday to Friday. You're going to take a rest at the end of the month. Listening. Downtown. Review the meanings of the prepositions of place. Then listen to and label the items on the map. Next to is one thing is sitting almost touching something else. In front of means it's in front of you. You can see it directly. And behind means at your back. Catty corner to or from means across a corner, but it's not the corner where you cross the street to get there. It's on the opposite side and up. Across from means it's directly across. And behind and between means there are two things and that thing's in the middle. Okay. So let's take a look at this. A parking lot is in front of the cafe. The park is across from the parking lot. The bank is on the corner behind the cafe. The grocery store is next to the cafe and across from the park. The apartment building is catty-corner to the bank. The realtor's office is behind the grocery store. The department store is in between the bank and the realtor's office. The museum is on the corner across from the apartment building. The pharmacy is behind the hotel. The bakery is in front of the parking lot. The laundromat is next to the hotel. All right, the parking lot is in front of the cafe. So the parking lot is E. The park is across from the parking lot. The park is across from the parking lot. So 3 is the park. Okay. The bank is at the corner behind the cafe. So 7 is the bank, A. 7 is A. Okay, 3 is J. Right. The grocery store is next to the cafe and across from the park. The grocery store is 2B. The apartment building is catty-corner to the bank. The apartment building is catty-corner to the bank. So 4 is the apartment building. 4 is I. The realtor's office is behind the general store, behind the grocery store. The realtor's office is behind the grocery store. Okay, the grocery store, so that would be 9. Okay. The department store is between the bank and the realtor's office. That would be 8. 8 would be the 7. So 8. The department store is 8G. Okay. The pharmacy is behind the hotel. So 5 is F, the pharmacy. The bakery is in the front of the parking lot. So the bakery is 2H. 2H is the bakery. The laundromat is next to the hotel. 6. Laundromat is 6. Okay. Okay, label your items. Pronunciation. Listen and repeat. Let's watch the show at 10. Sorry, let's watch the show at 8. So your voice goes up a little bit. Let's watch the show at 8. It kind of presses show and at together. We have to go on Friday night. We have to go on Friday night. So go on sounds like one word. Go on sounds like one word. I'll visit you in 3 weeks. I'll visit you in 3 weeks. What do you do on weekends? What do you do on weekends? I'll stay at my sister's house. I'll stay at my sister's house. We should be on time. We should be on time. You can try in a few minutes. You can try in a few minutes. He bought a toy at the store. He bought a toy at the store. Okay, once again, just so you know, these are optional activities. These are activities that are not on your exam. But they're very good practice. Reading and writing. Reading and writing the Beatles. Read about the history of the Beatles and answer the questions with full sentences. The Beatles were a British band. Its members were John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. They performed and recorded music together in the 1960s. From 1960 to 1963, they built their reputation when they played at clubs in Liverpool and Hamburg. On 11 February 1963, the Beatles recorded 10 songs in a single session at Abbey Road Studios. They released their first album in March of that year, and it contained those songs. The title song, Please Please Me, was the band's first #1 hit. During their time together, they created 17 #1 hits in total, including Can't Buy Me Love in 1964, Help in 1965, Yellow Submarine in 1966, All You Need Is Love in 1967, Hey Jude in 1968, and The Ballad of John and Yoko in 1969. The Beatles became international stars when they traveled to America in 1964. This was the time of Beatlemania and the British invasion of the United States pop market. Today, the Beatles are the best-selling music artists in the United States. They're also the best-selling band in history with over 1 billion physical and digital music sales. Time magazine ranks them among the 100 most influential people in the 20th century. Now I'm going to answer the questions. When did the Beatles play music together? Press pause and find your answer. Where did the Beatles build their early reputation? Where did the Beatles record their first album? When did the Beatles release their first #1 hit? When did the Beatles travel to the USA? How does Time magazine rate the Beatles? The Beatles played music together in the 1960s. The Beatles built their early reputation in Liverpool and Hamburg. They recorded their first album at Abbey Road Studios. They released their first #1 hit in March 1963. The Beatles traveled to the United States, to the USA in 1964. Time magazine ranks them among the top 100 most influential people in the 20th century. Grammar review, prepositions of time. Fill in the blanks with in, on, or at. Go back and review on page 5 to understand which one to put in the blank. Press pause and then play when you're ready. Number 1, we have to leave in 5 minutes or we'll be late. Number 2, our club meets on Tuesdays in the afternoon. 3, I woke up at 7 a.m. today. 4, she doesn't like driving at night. 5, my grandmother was born in Austria in 1956. 6, Halloween is on October 31st every year. 7, we both answered the question at the same time. 8, I always have a party and eat cake on my birthday. Those are your answers. Fill in the blanks with before, after, by, for, since, during, from, and to, and until. Use each expression only once. Use page 5 in order to know what you're doing. Press pause and then fill them out. Okay, when you're ready, come back and I will give you the answers. The boys set the table before dinner. The opera runs from March 30th to April 5th. Dessert is usually served as the main course. She's been sitting in the park for an hour and a half. We lived in the city since we were born. I have to finish my homework before I go out tonight. I stayed until the speeches were finished. He works full-time at the bank during the week. You have to play online by midnight on Friday. There's the answers there. C. Write A, B, or both to show which sentences are correct. I go home in the evening is correct, B. Press pause, circle your correct answer, and then come back and I'll give you the answers. 1 is B. The wedding is on July 15th. 2, B. Life will be different in the future. 3, B. She's busy at the moment. 4, B. It's due Monday. 5, A. I read at night. 6 is A and B. You can do both. I exercise on Saturday. I exercise on Saturdays. 7 is B. They moved here in 2015. 8. Both of them are correct. I'll be there in 1 month and I will be there in 6 months' time. Are both correct. There's the answers to your questions. Now you're going to write 4 true sentences about yourself. You're going to write about you. You're going to write about your recent activities or plans. So you can talk about what you did today or what you're, for instance, I am at school from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You're going to have to go over this to be sure that you are using the correct words. So go back to page 5 in order to understand what you're going to talk about. So you can say, I go home after school. Or you can say, I've lived in Busan for 3 years. Whatever it is you want to say. Now you may be wondering why I did the grammar activity. The grammar activity is extremely important because this is how you study for your exams, how you study for your writing test. Use your grammar review to study for your writing test to be sure that you understand how the grammar is being used. Page 10, reading and writing is not on the exam. However, the reading and writing is very important for you to do for yourself because there is going to be writing like this on your TOEIC test. You have to be able to read the questions first at the bottom of page 10, then go back and read the article to find the answers. Underline them and then write the correct answers. This is how you work your exams. You need to know how to do that. Going back to, so first you read the questions, then you go back and you find the answers in the article, and then you write them down. Your job is to find the answers. Okay. Pronunciation is important because there are pronunciation sections of most examinations that have speaking in them. Let's watch the show at. You're combining the two. Show at sounds like one word. Okay? When you have prepositions of time, those tend to merge with the word before them. So let's watch the show at 8. We have to go on Friday night. I'll visit you in 3 weeks. What do you do on weekends? It sounds like show at, go on, you in, and do on is one word. It's the same with the other one. I'll stay at my sister's house. We should be on time. You can try in a few minutes. He bought a toy at the store. This is a fun game to play downtown. I'll go ahead and read it one more time so that you can be sure that you have the correct answers. I'm going to do it one more time to be sure that you have the correct answers. 1. The parking lot is in front of the cafe. The parking lot is in front of the cafe. 2. The park is across from the parking lot. 2. The park is across in the parking lot. 3. The bank is on the corner behind the cafe. 3. The bank is on the corner behind the cafe. 4. The grocery store is next to the cafe and across from the park. 4. The grocery store is next to the cafe and across from the park. 5. The apartment building is catty-corner to the bank. That means it's on the opposite corner diagonally. Okay. Catty-corner is a weird word. It means not directly across, but across the opposite corner. The realtor's office is behind the grocery store. The realtor's office is behind the grocery store. 7. The department store is between the bank and the realtor's office. 7. The department store is in between the bank and the realtor's office. 8. The museum is on the corner across from the apartment building. 8. The museum is on the corner across from the apartment building. 9. The pharmacy is behind the hotel. 9. The pharmacy is behind the hotel. 10. The bakery is in front of the parking lot. 10. The bakery is in front of the parking lot. 11. The laundromat is next to the hotel. 11. The laundromat is next to the hotel. This is a fun game to play, and it's a great way to remember your prepositions of place. Okay. This is a way for you to use in, before, at, from, and after. Okay. So understand the dialogue. When did you? And then, so when did you have a picnic? I had a picnic on Sunday. It's asking when you did something. When are you going to wash the car? It means when are you going to do something in the future? I'm going to wash the car on Saturday. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to go back through this, especially your classroom activity. Okay. And what will you do in the afternoon? I'll meet my friends for lunch. What will you do? I'll go to the library. Be sure you understand the dialogues. On Papago, look up all the words you don't understand and go back through and to write the Korean on top of the word. Or make a vocabulary list of words that you are going to study. Remember, any word out of the chapter can be on the exam. You want to be able to understand them. Okay? So work on understanding those. Okay. Remember to understand anything that is a dialogue and understand how to use all of these prepositions of place or prepositions of time, at, in, or on, prepositions of time. I'm very glad we were able to go over Chapter 1 today, and we're going to go over Chapter 2 next. Have a wonderful day.